Who are we? Where did we come from? For centuries, humanity has looked to the stars, the soil, and the sea, searching for the origin of life. Was it a spark in a primordial soup? A random collision of molecules in Earth's early oceans, driven by heat, pressure, and time? Darwin's theory of evolution explains how life adapts and survives, but not how it first began. Modern science tells us that life emerged through chemical reactions, random mutations, and natural selection. But is randomness the whole story? Or is there something deeper? What if life wasn't an accident, but a consequence of something far more fundamental, something quantum? In the strange world of quantum physics, particles can be in multiple places at once. Observing something can change its reality, cause and effect blur. Nothing is fixed, only probabilities exist. So here's the question. If everything in the universe, at its core, is governed by quantum uncertainty, could the birth of life itself be a quantum event? Are we simply biological machines, or are we emergent patterns shaped by invisible quantum choices? This isn't just science fiction. It's a growing mystery, and maybe, just maybe, life isn't what we think it is. It's time to dive deeper into the quantum fabric of reality and rethink everything we thought we knew about being alive. Traditional science offers a framework, structured, logical, empirical. We are told that life began when simple molecules, under the right conditions, bonded into complex chains, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, interacting, folding, reacting. Over time, these molecules formed self-replicating systems, then cells, then organisms. From the simplicity of carbon atoms to the astonishing complexity of the human brain. It's a breathtaking story. But is it complete? The biological explanation is elegant, but it leaves something unexplained. Not just how molecules connect, but why they begin to behave as if they have purpose. Because life isn't just about chemical reactions. It's about organization, about systems that preserve themselves, learn, adapt, and eventually become aware of themselves. Where does consciousness come from? Not thoughts or memories, but the raw subjective experience of being. Neuroscience maps brain activity, but it cannot explain how neurons firing leads to a sense of self. Biology can describe DNA, but not how it carries meaning. Each human cell contains 3 billion base pairs of code, an alphabet capable of building not just muscles or eyes, but emotions, dreams, language, and imagination. How can such staggering complexity arise from lifeless matter? What force tells atoms to form a boundary, to become a cell membrane that separates inside from outside? What silent whisper turns chemicals into questions and particles into poetry? There's a blind spot here. Because if we trace everything back, molecules, atoms, subatomic particles, we find only matter and energy. No intent, no blueprint, no instruction manual, and yet life begins. It organizes, it evolves, it wakes up. Why? Is this just a random cosmic fluke? Or are we missing something deeper? Some invisible law, some hidden architecture perhaps. Life isn't just built on physics. Perhaps life is physics, performing its most mysterious act. Maybe the bridge between dead matter and living form lies not in the chemistry of what we see, but in the quantum patterns we've yet to understand. To understand the mystery of life, we must go deeper, much deeper, down to the very foundations of reality itself. In the quantum world, the rules are different. Particles are not tiny balls of matter, but shimmering waves of possibility. They exist here and there until they are observed. Only then do they choose a position. This is called the observer effect. The act of measurement doesn't just reveal reality, it creates it. And that changes everything. Quantum superposition means a particle can exist in multiple states at once, like being alive and dead, until something causes it to collapse into a single reality. Quantum entanglement means two particles, no matter how far apart, remain mysteriously linked. Change one, and the other responds instantly. As if the universe were connected by invisible threads. These aren't metaphors. They are real, measurable phenomena. And they raise a question far stranger than fiction: if particles behave differently depending on whether they're observed. What does that say about the role of consciousness in shaping the physical world? Is the observer outside the system or part of it? Are we just watching the universe? Or is the universe watching itself through us? Now, imagine this. Before there was life, there were only quantum probabilities, no fixed outcomes, only waves, fields, potential. Then something collapsed the wave function, not just in physics, but in biology. Something shifted reality from uncertainty into form, from randomness into replication, from noise into life. Some scientists now believe quantum processes may exist within biological systems, in bird navigation, in photosynthesis, even in the way our brains function. Could life be the result of quantum laws expressing themselves in matter? Could a single electron, entangled across time and space, carry the memory of how to organize? What if DNA isn't just a molecule, but a quantum script written in probability, decoded by the presence of consciousness? These are not idle speculations. They are the frontier of science, and they suggest something profound: that the same forces responsible for the behavior of the smallest particles might also be responsible for the greatest miracle we know, the emergence of life itself. Quantum physics may seem confined to particle accelerators and vacuum chambers, but nature has been using it all along. Welcome to quantum biology, a new field challenging the old boundaries between life and physics. Take the European robin, for example. Each winter, it navigates across vast distances with uncanny precision. How not with a compass, but something stranger. A protein in its eye appears to use quantum entanglement to see the Earth's magnetic field no classical explanation fits. Only quantum coherence. A delicate, almost impossible balance of quantum states within living tissue. Now consider photosynthesis. The process plants use to convert sunlight into energy is nearly perfect, with over 95% efficiency. But how? Scientists have discovered that light energy inside a plant cell doesn't travel like a bouncing ball. It moves like a quantum wave, exploring all possible paths simultaneously, then choosing the most efficient one. This is quantum superposition in action, inside a leaf. And then there's the human brain. Billions of neurons, trillions of connections, thought, memory, dreams. But beneath the electrical impulses, some physicists believe there may be quantum events. The ORCH, or theory, proposed by Sir Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff, suggests that consciousness arises not from classical computation, but from quantum processes occurring in tiny structures inside neurons called microtubules. These are not yet proven facts, but mounting evidence suggests that biology is not ignoring quantum rules. It's built on them, if true. This changes everything. Life doesn't just tolerate quantum effects, it may depend on them. And that means the line between biology and physics is dissolving. Maybe evolution didn't just select for survival, it selected for quantum adaptability. Maybe DNA is not just a code for building bodies, but a channel for accessing quantum potential. And if even the simplest cell is using quantum principles, then life itself may be a quantum phenomenon. Not random, not mechanical, but a dance of probabilities collapsed into purpose. This is the frontier of science. It's uncertain, controversial. But one thing is clear: the deeper we go, the more life begins to look like the universe trying to know itself, through the strange, beautiful language of quantum reality. If quantum systems remain undefined until observed, then what is the observer? In classical science, we are passive witnesses. Reality is out there, independent of who's looking. But in the quantum world, observation doesn't just record reality, it shapes it. And this raises a haunting question. Is consciousness not just in the universe, but essential to the universe? Visual wave function patterns collapsing into form as a glowing eye appears within quantum fields in quantum mechanics. Particles exist in superposition, in all possible states at once. But once measured, that wave function collapses into a single, definite outcome. So what collapses the wave? A camera? A detector? Or is it something deeper, a mind? Some physicists, like John von Neumann and Eugene Wigner, have dared to propose that consciousness itself causes the collapse, that a conscious observer is not just participating in reality but activating it. Could this mean that life that we are not the result of random chance, but the agents through which the universe realizes its own potential? Maybe matter isn't the source of mind. Maybe mind is woven into the fabric of matter. This is not mysticism. This is the philosophical edge of quantum theory, because without consciousness, there are no choices, no questions, no meaning. Without an observer, the universe remains a blur of possibilities, a silent equation waiting to be read. And so we ask again, what if life is the way the universe observes itself? What if consciousness is not a glitch in the machine, but the machine's hidden design? From the rise of DNA, to the spark of thought, to the awe we feel gazing at the stars, maybe it's all one process. The universe collapsing its own wave function through us, not separate, not accidental, but inevitable. A cosmic loop, where the observer and the observed are one and the same. We began with a question: who are we? Where did life come from? And we walked through molecules, probability waves, and the strange dance of quantum rules. What we found was more than science, more than biology or chemistry. We found a mirror, a reflection of ourselves in the most fundamental layer of reality. Because the deeper we go, the more it seems that life is not an accident, but an unfolding, a quantum emergence of awareness from possibility. Life is not separate from the universe. It is the universe, folding in on itself, experiencing itself, questioning itself. Maybe this is why quantum physics feels so strange, because it points not just outward but inward. It suggests we are not passive observers, but participants, co-creators of reality. Through every act of perception, we collapse a possibility into form. We choose, we give meaning, and in doing so we become the universe aware of itself. We are not machines. We are not accidents. We are not alone. We are waves that have become flesh, particles that have become purpose, matter that remembers the stars, and perhaps life is not a puzzle to be solved, but a question the universe keeps asking through the eyes of every living thing. So the next time you wonder who you are, remember this: you are not just in the universe. The universe is in you. You are the breath between equations, the pause before the wave collapses, the observer that gives shape to reality. You are life, and life is the universe thinking. Quantum biology is still young, full of mystery, full of debate. We don't yet know how deep the quantum thread runs through life or through consciousness. But one thing is clear: it has changed the way we imagine life itself. No longer just the product of random collisions or a lucky mixture of molecules in a primordial soup. Instead, perhaps life is a pattern of resonance, of entanglement, of possibility collapsing into purpose. Perhaps the answers we've been seeking in test tubes and telescopes have always lived between the spaces, in the silent logic of the quantum realm. Traditional science explains how, but quantum thinking asks why. Why does matter organize into life? Why does consciousness arise from chaos? Why does the universe seem to wake up through us? These questions have no final answer, not yet. But maybe that's the point. Because every time we observe the quantum world, we're not just looking at it, it might be looking back. And in that gaze, something is exchanged. Not just information, but identity. So ask yourself, when you look deep into the smallest particles of reality, could they be creating you in return?